Hello guys, tonight we want to take a look at some more mysterious and possible inexplicable recordings again. And now without further ado, let's buckle up and stay frosty. This video submission stems from Treya Autumn Wolf, and she told me about a channel called Hunting the Dead. Apparently the owner of the channel is documenting a haunting that is taking place in his own home, and some unseen force is messing with his whole family. The following are captures that his CCTV cameras could record, which are placed in the whole house. In particular, there's a lot of mist activity that can be captured in the living room, oftentimes when only his kids are around. A little bit eerie, to be honest. I mean, isn't that significant? What makes them manifest a little right in front of that camera? I wonder. And there's also a lot of orb-like activity in his bedroom, and I don't think this is dust. What's your opinion? And apparently they also like to pull the blanket in the middle of the night. How mean. And like many paranormal enthusiasts, he makes contact with the entity via a Ouija board, and this sometimes can go south, as you will see here. Is it a malevolent force that he is dealing with in his house? What are your thoughts? Maybe even demonic, or maybe something that remains there from another time? Check out his footage on his channel. I've put the link in the description. This was captured by Claire X. Chalander, and it is a capture that apparently frightened her whole family. She reached out to the paranormal community for a possible explanation, and she states, "Can anyone pick anything up from this? My two nieces snapped it last night. There was no one else in the room, and nobody knows that person in the back." A really sinister face can be seen behind one of her nieces in the back. It appears that it has an open mouth, and people pointed out that they can see teeth and a big nose. If we think about it, what could be the reason for this capture? Was there something else with them in the room that belonged to another realm? Was it a demon perhaps? Or just something in the background that they were not aware of? Although I find that a little bit unlikely. Let me hear your explanation for this. The following video is from the early 2000s, and it was sent to me by Frank. He states that the clip was captured by a man who assumed that some paranormal forces were tampering with him and his family. This night he heard inexplicable noises, saw fast shadows in the corner of his eyes, and noticed that there were a couple of inexplicable cold spots in several areas of the house. He put his camera on a tripod in the kitchen, filmed towards the living room, and came up with this. So, at what are we looking at here exactly? Some say that it appears to be a spirit in a wheelchair that is rolling into the shot and then vanishes. Can you see that too? I wonder about the history of this older building. Maybe it was one of the former owners. Unfortunately, not much is said about who inherited this place before. But I find this clip truly magnificent, even though it's pretty dated. The following is a recording from user Fistelmom73, and the story behind it is quite unsettling to say the least. Fistel is recording an older photo that was taken during a Christmas concert in 2010. She was taking pictures of her son, and the whole family was reviewing the captures the night after that at home. They noticed that there seemed to be something peeking around the curtain in the background that startled them, to be honest. It looks like there's an apparition staring at the children with a sleeping cap on and possibly a nightgown of some sorts. Is it the spirit of an elderly lady? Their son stated that there was nobody in the back that was dressed up like that, nor were there any plays planned for that night. Also, notice the shining eyes. How creepy. They never found out what it actually was. Maybe for the better. The next video was recorded by Angel, and he states that there is a building in his local town that many people say is haunted. And ever so often, a report comes in from friends or family members that claim that they have seen weird things that were going on in this building. He saw strange things as well in there, but could never really capture it. The building was converted to a supermarket, by the way. This night, a friend on the passenger seat of his car recorded while they were driving through the street in question. And while passing by the store, there seemed to be something mysterious that can be seen in the window. Let's take a look. Apparently the store was closed around that time, which I believe. It looks like nobody remained in there after closing hours. Yet, some viewers believe that they see an elderly lady standing there. Could that be so? But how? Very curious. Sheila has sent me the following video, and it was apparently captured in the hallway of a factory. This building is said to be very old, and the only purpose of this camera is the video surveillance, since people tried to break into this place several times in the past. This night, the CCTV camera has captured something quite eerie in the basement of this building, after closing hours. Let's take a look. There certainly appears to be an apparition walking around down there, seemingly peeking at the camera and then returning towards where it came from. But what was it? Was it maybe a spirit? Or somebody that was still at the premises? Pretty unlikely though. What's your explanation? The next video was sent by Annette, and she told me that the woman featured in it was just fooling around on her rooftop that night, and her neighbor was filming this whole incident transpire. Neri Kellerman, the woman that is featured in the clip, actually didn't notice anything strange that evening. It was just a goofy skit after all. But when her neighbor sent her the recording via Snapchat, she noticed that there seemed to be an eerie black mass standing right next to Neri, which was creepy enough for them to check the video, and there it was.
No, manches, ¿estás loca? ¿Estás loca, verdad? No.
If you look to your left, there seems to be a figure in a dark robe standing right next to Neri, and of course there was nobody else with them, so they seemed really surprised when they saw that creepy apparition right there. To this day, it's pretty much unclear what happened that night. Some people say it looks like the Grim Reaper. Would you agree? Maybe something else? The following recordings stem from CCTV cameras, and originally nobody saw anything strange. It was on second glance that security guards at two different locations noticed that something seemed off. And they should not be the only people that noticed that there seemed to be something going on that might not have been fully explainable. Well, let's see. Was originally discovered by a security guard that realized that something really strange was going on. Apparently there was a child standing on the parking lot when a car arrives, and then the weirdness begins. It is suddenly gone, vanished into thin air. And it appears that we can see it here the first time. And the driver must have seen it too, because he couldn't believe his eyes. He actually gets out of the car and gives it a second look. He wants to know where that kid went, but he's without luck. Now, what happened here? Was it the spirit of a child that was just standing there? If it was a real person, how could he just vanish? There's so much weird stuff going on in that video, I really don't know what's up with that.